what are your thoughts on like movies and TV shows just getting sexually explicit?
At a movement.
Yeah. No way. What they feel about that?
Hey, looking like he shot the ball.
That's what I like. Let's go. Welcome to Talking Trophies. I'm Ravo.
I'm Damien.
And we're back with another episode of season 3. The episodes keep coming. We got the consistency back. And you know, we're probably one of the most consistent podcasts, I'd say.
We're back.
When we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
When we're back. Before we jump into the video, you know the standard routine. Make sure you subscribe, like, leave a comment, you know, and share this video around if you enjoy it. And you know what? Let us know if you like these kind of videos so we keep posting more of them. If you don't like these kind of videos, what can we do, you know, when
Let
we
us
bring
know.
other guests? Because we literally like roll off you guys. Whatever you tell us, that's how we bounce off it. You know, you guys are the directors of the show. But speaking about directors, we do have a guest today that is an actual director and does some short films. Welcome, Kevin, to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
And we also got Alfred, who is a friend of Kevin, and he invited him over. And you know who we say, welcome, everyone's welcome here.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on. Yeah, man, we'll jump into the questions straight away. How you feeling, man?
All right. Yeah, a little bit hyper from the pre-workout I just drank.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
what is it called? The all black everything. That's the pre-workout I gave him, just to get him a little bit tweaked up, you know.
Yeah. It's been a minute since I had pre-workout. So
it's hitting, huh?
Yeah, it's getting in there. Yeah, I'm feeling all right. Yeah, just I don't know. It's a very what's it called? Small talky question, man.
That's all right, man. It's all good. You know,
That's calm.
Guys, yeah, they're here under the pump.
I'm
You know
an
what it is?
introvert, so if someone asks me how you doing, I'm always gonna say I'm all right.
Yeah.
You know, I could have like fucking house burning down or some shit, and I'll just be like, yeah, it's all good, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, then we'll kick it off easy. Like, introduce yourself, man. So,
Yeah,
like, you're a director.
okay,
Tell us your craft,
my
man.
name is Kevin Uskokovic, visual artist, director. Did some stand-up for a while, acting now, I guess. I try to find creative people and get them to work together, and try to make stuff through that, and try to do something that will make the world a better place, I guess, in a nutshell.
Well, you love your craft, man. So, like, what has your hard effort gotten you to? What's, like, some of your accomplishments you've hit, man?
Okay, so, yeah, that's... I guess I have gotten some awards, and that's kind of cool, but honestly, accomplishments-wise, I'd say, like, this is such a, like, beauty pageant answer, but, like, accomplishment-wise, it's, like, it's the collaboration. It's introducing different creatives, getting them to work together, getting people to find out skills that they didn't have, and encouraging that. I love doing that's the biggest accomplishment, I'd say. Is
I think you're gonna see some of us step out of our comfort zones later on.
Yeah.
We might do a little short film directed by Kevin.
I'm keen to do it.
You know, talking about something you have directed, the short film you did was Smile. I seen that. You said just before the podcast you got 10 awards for short film international film festivals.
Yep.
Even one of them was a Eurofest. You got best editor, was that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Best editing,
mainly smaller film festivals. But yeah, I got best editor for that. I think we got like a best original score and a couple of other things. That did happen.
But I want to ask you a question. Like, how does someone become a director? You know, like, in a way, it's like, what, you just get a bunch of friends, hey, I got a script and we want to start this?
Yeah.
Or is it more of, I'll go to like an art center or something, hey, I'm trying to do this? Or do you just, like...
I've heard some directors say, like, the best thing to do is just try to film something every day. Doing that, that's the basic part. You do that for a couple of years, it starts to get easier to, like, plan something out and write it and shit. But just, like, try to film something every day with your friends or whatever. Could be anything, a YouTube vlog, whatever. And another really important thing is, like, vision. Vision's huge. Some people have vision, some people don't. If you like if you don't find someone who does, let them fucking direct and write and all that. But like, you need to have some kind of dream that you really want to make, and then combine that with a little bit of experience in working cameras and equipment, and that stuff. That's like a tradie job almost. You know what I mean? Like the real directing, writing stuff. That's about vision. It's about yeah.
But have you ever made a dead film? Like, have you ever made something like you thought of it, you thought it'd be crazy, and like just didn't go through?
Like it didn't happen.
Like, not didn't happen. You made it, but it just didn't work out the way you wanted it to
like
be.
it flopped a little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single one. Every single thing I've ever made, I would feel that way about it. And like I heard like Scorsese say if you don't want to vomit after you see your first edit, you're not a filmmaker. Like you need that little bit of like perfectionism in there. But getting things done is always better than perfect. So I've got to let that slide a little bit, but I always feel that way about my product.
I noticed you love to whip out quotes, bro. You actually got a lot of quotes in your head,
quotes,
bro.
Man.
But so like that means you must be inspired by a lot of people. So like, who are some of your inspirations when it comes to your craft, bro?
Biggest is Werner Herzog, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, the guys in Wakaliwood Productions, the huge inspiration. Just anyone who's figuring it out themselves. Roger Corman, Walt Disney, they're in film. They're the really big ones. Outside of film, I don't know. I couldn't think of them now. But just people who started something. They're the ones that really like draw me in.
You know those are your inspirations and stuff. But for someone that's trying to get into it, trying to get into directing, what do you reckon like the skills are? You need, besides, that there is the standard, go get the arts degree, do some film school and stuff. That's useless. And then you come out of it like that's hands down useless. Yeah, like you'd probably come out of it knowing Adobe Premiere Pro.
If you meet anyone who's trying to be a filmmaker, if they ever brag about like I worked on this project or I have this degree, don't listen to them. Like Roger Corman, he's like one of my biggest inspirations. That guy was like in the military for years. That's where he got his mentality. And then you got like Walt Disney. This guy was like a farmer and animator, like a drawer. The thing that you really need, the skill that you really need, is the ability to work with other people, explain your ideas. There's a little bit of manipulation going on there, a little bit of delineation and delegation and learning to discuss things to people, explain what you're doing what you want to do to people. Because at the end of the day, a director isn't really supposed to be holding the camera, isn't really supposed to be doing much more than just like
bringing the vision to life.
Bringing it to life, exactly.
100%. Yeah. Look, we do have another guest here, and he was patiently listening. But this guy was giving us some gems before the interview started. We do have Alfred here. Alfred,
aka Sober.
Okay, Sober.
Yeah, this is Step G, aka Sober at Alfred Coker. Thanks for having me, and I'm willing for some questions.
100%.
I went first. Tell us about like how did you and Kevin meet? Like what's the relationship there?
Oh, me and Kelvin met at Black Lives Matter.
In the protest.
In the protest. Yeah. I think I was dancing.
Nah, you were like preaching.
Preaching. Oh,
he was on this whole thing where he was like, it was like at the end, it was very emotional and serious, and he was like standing up there being like, we were the first man. Moses was black, Jesus was black, and I was like, yeah. And then this guy for the Bible also, and this guy, and then we just kind of clicked in that moment a little bit.
How'd you click? What were you watching him from like the?
Yeah,
were you on a stage or was he on a stage or?
I went to like take photos because
okay.
Like what I wanted to do is I wanted to take photos, get people's Instagram and send them the photo. Just because I wasn't too keen on like bragging that I was there or anything. I wanted to like be a part of it and help in some way, and that was a skill set I had. So I did that, and then like a couple of weeks or months later, I started writing Babylon, which features a black character, and I had someone planned out, and he quite frankly sucked, and I was like sending him this thing, and I was looking at his Instagram, being like, "Do you act?" And he's like, "Yeah. Google me." And it kind of grew from there, and we started working with each other, and like now we're basically best mates because we just click. It's
That's a flex. not a sus my Instagram, not sus my Facebook, and Google me.
Yeah.
That's a flex, right?
Alfred, that's a big step up. I want to ask. I think, hey, what about when he was on the stage? Was it like a passionate speech? Do you remember the speech?
Peace. Yeah.
Hashtag BLM, hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtag we stay humble faith, hashtag Talking Trophy supports Black Lives Matter. But I want to jump over to
Wait,
Alfred.
before he was talking.
I want to talk about the guns, the bodybuilding, what you were talking to me about before, the fitness, the health stuff, because I'll give it up to you, mashallah, you're a strong man.
Oh, yeah, but the question is, how that all come into reality.
Yeah.
I was like a 10-month-old. My dad passed away, and I was wrecked with a single mom, strong mom.
Yeah.
And in African community, there's a lot of is a polygamy. I have stepsisters, stepbrothers that hate my mom. So I was clinging onto my mom. You see what I mean? And in poverty, when you are clinging onto your mom don't read a bedside story and put you to sleep. You don't read books. In this how do you call it? Polygamy or
environment you're raised in?
In this, like in Australia, you have monogamy, like husband and wife.
Yeah.
Everything they read a bedside story for their kids. They teach them how to read when they were little. But me, I was not. You see, so but I sparkle to able to visualize about being known or popular or fame. So the rich man can invite you for dinner, or the rich man daughter can date you. But in Sierra Leone, when you are poor, when you don't have name, you can't date a girl unless you are a star, unless you get known. So my energy all derived to sport, to entertainment.
Working out, because that's where you could specialize.
And entertainment don't have no boundaries. A break, it doesn't matter how you look. You can captivate anybody, black and white, or your followers can be like that. So that is what, at the childhood, that's what I master.
So, is that what got you into the bodybuilding? Is that what got you into
No, I did
out?
I did not come as a body. When I was in Sierra Leone, I did not come as, I was a sprinter, I was a power lifter, I was a soccer player. I did not come to us. I did not.
He was athletic.
You athletic?
Yeah, I was
okay.
athletic. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I studied sports science, my sports science teacher told me that I can be a good bodybuilder because I live my life. Training is a way of life for me. Like Shaolin Temple. Every morning I wake up, I have to do my routine. It was part of my routine.
Okay.
So when it's part of your routine, you see growth. Growth happens unexpectedly.
Yeah.
You see, time after time, frequency, duration, and timing. You see profit. So then I say, why not? So with my vision for entertainment, my sports science teacher trained me. There I go into bodybuilding.
And do you base your bodybuilding around natural weights, so calisthenics, or are you more of a power lifter, heavyweight?
I do compound and isometric training. A lot of people just go to the gym, they do heavyweight. But me, I'm flexible because I can dance. You see, and flexibility goes with yoga, stretching, isometric, and I can do compound. I can go to the gym and do compound like chest, squat. But in the morning at home, I can do like push-ups. I can do my wrist. I can train my shoulder. I can stretch. I can do yoga. So you find out that I don't believe in like just going to the gym, push power, heavyweight.
Yeah.
I just believe in being flexible.
Yeah. So people just focus on like one area, chest.
when you do, some people just focus on chest, arms, then you find out that their wrist, their fingers are weak. So that chest and arms cannot as long as the fingers and the wrist cannot connect, that chest and arms and bicep, tricep cannot connect. Because to be strong, your wrist and your finger play a paramount role.
Yeah. Speaking about wrist and fingers,
You do arm wrestling, yeah?
the arm wrestling.
Yeah, in arm wrestling.
And tell us about the tournaments you've played in.
And like, to be honest, I was gonna say, at what moment do you sit there and be like, man, I'm gonna smoke people in arm wrestling? Like, at what moment you realize you're gonna like kill it in arm wrestling?
And we go back to as a way of life. When you take something as a way of life, you find out that you can be good at varieties, broad in athletics. So if you take it as a way of life, you can good at sprinting, you can good at bodybuilding, you can good at soccer. So arm wrestling, it was just in the club. They told me, hey, there's an arm wrestling in this pub. I after work I went there and win because I train every day. This is my way of life.
Yeah.
You see, even when I'm happy, I train. When I'm sad, I train. This is way of life for me. Yes, I live it.
So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a quick break from this interview / podcast, and
I'm gonna smoke him in arm wrestling.
we'll see how we go with the arm wrestling. Alright, we're gonna take a quick break from the interview. I just want to see how good Alfred really is at arm wrestling, and as you can see, I'm literally half of his hand. My hand is half of his hand, but I'm still gonna win this. It's all in here. Hashtag talking trophies. Hashtag.
Hashtag broken arm.
Okay.
Ready go.
Ready?
Hashtag call
Ready?
it.
I'll just count the run. You do the ready?
Alright,
You
3.
hold here and ready. See
Yeah,
Alright, you ready? Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. He's flexing on me, cuz. He's actually
God, I'm bad.
flexing on me nicely.
God. No, I'm not quitting, bro. Come on, Damo.
eye on your arm. You see? I fight it outside. You see outside. Okay, finish it. Finish it. I want you to finish
Go.
it. Finish it. Okay, I'm fighting you outside. You see how I take the finger?
Guys, how's Humble giving a
You
tutorial,
see how I
man?
take the finger?
Cuz, keep trying, bro. Take him outside. Tell
You
him.
see, I take it outside. I'm
Sean,
taking
take
it
him outside,
outside.
cuz.
You
Sean,
see?
take him
So,
outside.
okay. Okay, finish it.
He's gonna let you try to win. Guys, but the thing is, you're gonna break my arm if I
No,
turn.
finish it. No, you don't go to tongue. Just finish it. Grab there and try to put your shoulder on it. Keep your eye on your arm. Finish it. Press it with your shoulder. Shoulder, press it. Finish it, goddamn thing. If you don't finish it, I take you outside. Finish it. Finish it.
I'm kidding, by the way. I'm going to
Grab the table and finish it. Go inside. This is inside.
This guy's giving a tutorial. Let's give it.
I take you outside. I take you outside.
Finish him.
Take him outside.
Finish
Take
him.
him outside.
Finish
Take him
him.
outside.
Woo! How'd you go in the arm wrestling, cuz?
Cause it's smoked, bro.
But that was nice, man. Alfred, standard arm wrestling champion. We were expecting that. Back into the interview. I'll jump over to you, Kevin. With representation as a director, in Australia, you don't seem to see many. Like, there's a very massive underrepresentation of Black and African actors. Both, I'd say, because Africans don't want to try it or give it a go. There's not as much representation, or maybe not even in the
influence
auditions
too,
or influence, because they don't see many actors. In the case of you have, Alfred working with you, and he's a close friend of yours now. And he said he does acting, and it's not something very common in Australia, and you could admit that too, Alfred.
Yeah,
if that's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
Like, there's not many African actors from what you've experienced.
There's
And
no
if-
more chances,
Yeah. What are your thoughts as a director, Kevin, on that underrepresentation in Australia?
Well, I think it's definitely a problem, and there's like there's different approaches to the solution, and like I've seen a few attempts in Australia on SBS, ABC, and stuff to include more representation, and I feel like in the past with women, there was a similar story a little bit with like having women leads that aren't, you know, having romantic storylines and stuff, you know, and I feel like if you look back into the 80s, you know, the best example of women's representation in film I can think of is Alien with Ridley, the Sigourney Weaver's character, right? And the funny thing about that character is Ridley wasn't written as a woman at any point. It was like a last minute decision to make it a woman. And I think that like while it's good to have like you know, Black Panther, it's an important film and all that kind of stuff to represent African culture on screen and stuff. Like a bigger priority is like Black James Bond. You know, like not even focusing hugely on.
I see what you mean, like not making it like, oh, let's make a movie just for that,
Yeah,
but like saying
like
casting the same thing, but just with
there's a massive agenda within the public sector and stuff, and the artistic world to lean into this. You know, let's make a story about a Sudanese kid who's trying to play basketball, but he can't because of the crime in the area and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, let's just make a movie about fucking like Secret Lives of Us or something, a bunch of share house with some doctors and lawyers and shit, and you know, cast a black person if they're good for the role, and just leave it at that. And like yeah, and like in that process, you know, you could write something out like totally as a white person. I could write the character thinking that it's a white character, and then after hiring a black person, little things will start changing, like small things, you know what I mean? Like maybe like they wouldn't say it this way or something like that, and then it can come in that way. So there needs to be a lot of freedom for the actors to do that, and that's not a common thing in filmmaking generally. Like writers and directors, they hold on to their fucking scripts like crazy, and that's one of the problems with representation, is the inability to let things flow and be kind of a back and forth. So like this thing that I'm working on now, the next thing is Doom Metal, which is I was writing a fantasy film. I was smoking weed and writing a fantasy film set in hell about a guy called Siegfried who's saving Broomhilda. You know, these are like terms that like Nazis would use in their stories and stuff, like, because it's all based on heavy metal and all this kind of shit. And when I was writing it, I was imagining white characters because it's based on like German fantasy, you know, Lord of the Rings and all that. It was all white people and all those. And as I started working on it, I was like, Alfred's buff as fuck. Like, he's a big guy. He can be Conan the Barbarian. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, having a black person as a barbarian, that's problematic. So it's not like that in this. But like, yeah. Well, that's great too. Yeah, Black Annie worked. But like the thing that was that I was really proud of is like, in that process, I started realizing things like, hold on, with makeup, it actually makes more sense for the good guys to be black and the white guys to be bad, because a white person with the right makeup can look really fucking scary, you know? Like, we can get gaunt, we can look like really fucked up, like Holocaust people, and like, I don't know, like we can look intense, you know what I mean? Like, so we work as bad guys really well, and Hollywood, they kind of lean towards the other way a little bit, but like that wasn't a decision. I wasn't going, I want to make a movie where all the good guys are black and stuff. It was just like a lighting and makeup decision that happened down the line. And like, I think that that's an important thing that filmmakers need to do, is just like like just write a script, and then like after that, like don't even think if a black person could play it, just be like, what would it be like if they did? You know, this actor's great, I'd love to work with him or whatever, and keep the casting calls not including that shit at all. It's pointless. Yeah.
I watched Django recently too, man. I watched it like last month.
That was like
surprised.
Django Unchained was like an answer to 12 Years a Slave. It was like,
it
was like a response to that almost. It was like a fuck you to that kind of shit, and that's cool. But like, it's even more like I'll say Black James Bond again and again because I want to see Idris Elba play James Bond. Like that's important to me. Like I'll actually watch a James Bond movie if that happens because he's a great actor and like he suits the role.
What's the new movie he's in now? The Cowboy one. It's literally about what you said before about changing the perspective. It's a bunch of cowboys. Yeah, he's in the movie
I know
where
this movie.
they run the towns.
I watched it. Yeah,
it's got the guy as well from. He's in Atlanta. He's an actor. He's from Atlanta. Childish Gambino. I think so.
Yep.
He's a great actor. He's in it too. He's like
yeah.
one of the best shooters and stuff.
Yeah, and that's he's a great example. He wants to play the Joker, right? Why the fuck not?
He can play the Joker.
Absolutely.
Easy. He's actually a great actor.
He'd seriously compete against Jared Leto. That's for fucking sure. Like he'd do an amazing Joker. He could play Willy Wonka. All of those Johnny Depp roles. He could nail them all. Captain Jack Sparrow. Why not? Like why the fuck not? Like the only reason is it's what I'm saying.
In America, like I'd say in America, a lot of black people are really into acting. A lot of black people do go to Hollywood or do try this stuff. I don't see it here as much. I don't know if you've seen it, maybe because you actually do acting. But do you find, like Alfred, do you find a lot of African people like auditioning, going out of their way to audition, like people from first generation African, like?
The thing is, let the directors get a script for African actors.
Yeah.
Let the government give grant to those type of films.
Yeah.
But a lot of films in Australia is more stories about Aborigines, like The Nightingale. The Nightingale was Aborigine.
Yeah.
And they look for Aborigine actors rather than African.
Alfred was a body double in Nightingale, by the way.
I was a standing body double for one of the actor. So you find out that there is no chance. It's like what Kevin said. Like if there's a script for a Sudanese boy trying to make it in basketball, then his journey. But there's no scripts like that.
Yeah.
People are not writing. Directors are not writing.
Yeah.
And if you present it to the government, are the government going to give grant? No. Like a Right Babylon, it was like self-funding. You see what I mean? And the problem is the government supposed to put their hands into these things. Then it will grow.
Yeah, definitely. And that's key. So I feel like, we do have underrepresentation. What do you think about that too? Even you, Dame, you're in the, the creative field.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on underrepresentation?
Bro, I think it's like madly, like there's not much African representation, but I think it's because like especially in Aussie, like let's say like Aussie shows, for example, Neighbours, when they're casting, they're very select with who they're casting.
It's not like an African family is gonna move into the area.
Like,
here come the bloody African.
But for example, when they with Neighbours, when they're writing a script of this character, they have exactly what color they want the person to be, what hair color, what eye
That's what
color,
I'm saying.
even eye color they want them to be. So they leave.
No,
Beach look.
Home and Away is way worse than Neighbours.
And they leave,
Like,
they
the
leave,
beach
they leave
look,
they leave no room for like
doesn't
any
happen.
sort of color to be put into it. But
Yeah.
that's one issue. Then also like for example with dancing, like I do dance. When I was doing shows at the art center, when I was auditioning, I'm light skinned, and I was the darkest person in the room. You know what I mean? So like for me, like I was like, whoa, like there's not many like, especially in that field, and there's probably a lot more up and coming now, second generation, third generation. More kids are going to be put into it, but like the foundation of dance, theater, all that here in Australia is white. So like until like the directors of that, start like changing like their vision, then like it'll be a lot more easier.
But I reckon also to. Yeah, the Ethiopian girl. Yeah, but what I think is even like how there's the first Black Wiggle. Black people just gotta start going to these auditions, just rocking up. Like even if the script's not made for them, and they got picture of the white guy, you might kill the act and like kill the audition, and they'll be like, you know what? This guy I can put this brother in, like you know what I mean, or this sister in it. You know what I mean? That's true.
That's
so
like
give it a go. You always shoot the
that's like
shots
with
you never
Alien
take.
and the Sigourney Weaver story. She was auditioning for a male role. So that's that's an example, and that kind of energy, like that can get exhausting fast. So a bit of it has to change with the perspective of the directors and stuff, because a lot of directors they stick to the script like it's fucking gospel, and it's so stupid because like this goes back to like the skills I was saying before with like leadership. I think I'm not going to quote him, but it's a really important thing. If you want to be a good leader, don't explain to people how to do things and what you want done exactly. Tell people what you want the end product to do, and then let them surprise you.
Yeah.
And that has to work with people too. If I've got an idea and an image of Peter Parker as white, you know, that's limiting as fuck. Like I need to be able to go like, I want this character who does this. He's a superhero and he does this and he has this funny, quirky energy, you know, like.
And see where you get what's the end result.
Hey, Loki, that's what I like about the Spider-Man, had to do that whole multiverse thing. Now they can add. They got the Black Peter Parker. They got, you know what I mean, like.
Yeah, and that just came out. That came out naturally, and it was like, it was beautiful. Yeah.
I got a question. I think this is you do film, Kevin. I got the question about film. And we see this a lot. I don't know. It's like it's becoming a big thing now. Kevin, what are your thoughts on the how, like, with movies now, and especially with Hollywood? And I feel like Hollywood are pushing this idea. What are your thoughts on like movies and TV shows just getting sexually explicit? Like a lot of viewers are watching it. Yeah. So like a lot of viewers are like, people I'm saying our viewers would even consider this too, and I don't know if you agree with this, Alfred, too, but like movies are just getting like that's crazy explicit, and even you, like Damien, how do you think about it too? Like
for me, like real quick, like I love the show Power, but I'm not even joking. I can't watch one Power episode without seeing at least 4 sex scenes. You know what I mean?
And even like TV series, like now TV series start with.
There's a lot of TV series like that, and they're almost all like A&E, BET. They're these like kind of like general audience kind of channels. They're aiming a little bit more towards parents, I guess. And there's this element of like, you know, these people, like a lot of the audience are American, and Americans, they're the most ironic, funny people in the world. You know, they always talk about never have sex before marriage, this, and then they got the highest child, like under 18 pregnancy rates in the world and shit. Like they don't fuck around there. And there's this weird denial that they have where it's like they're not going to watch some like French movie about like, you know, some fucking poet in love with some like sex worker or something, you know, but they'll watch Power, which is like supposed to just be a family drama about some millionaires, right? And like then they sneak it in and they get off on it a little bit. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think's happening. Is it's like no, but it's like it's not marketed as a sex film or something.
Yeah.
And if they saw that book cover, they wouldn't pick that up. Yeah. But they're gonna pick up like
subliminally put it in.
It happens all over the place. Like that, there's a show Spartacus. It's supposed to be a gladiator show. I went into it being like violence. You know, this is gonna be sick. It's just a bunch of sweaty, muscly dudes in a fucking dungeon meeting these princesses every once in a while. It's like. That's not what I wanted to watch, man.
And like, as a director, like as a director yourself, Kevin, what are your thoughts on like movies getting so sexualized and just like really explicit? Because back in the bro, even till today, if I see a kissing scene, I stop looking, because that's how I was like. I'm like, yo, I remember at home. I don't know if like, especially migrant families experience this.
Yeah.
As soon as a kissing scene starts,
watch
like the dad or the mum would just look at all the kids, scary, making sure they don't look at the screen. You know?
Right.
Like,
I remember
now
as a kid, I would watch Kickboxer with my friends. Like I loved Kickboxer. There was like a series of films, and they had like really intense sex scenes in all of them. We would fast forward them all because we're kids.
Yeah.
But like, and they put it in to get more attention, because like those were like straight to DVD films, and like a lot of single men watching it and shit, and a lot of single women. Like everyone loves sex. Yeah, but honestly, as far as sex scenes goes, nothing wrong with them. They can be funny. They can be beautiful. I forget the name of the film, but there's a Robert Redford one where the whole sex scene is just like a couple of like shots of them about to kiss, and then it cuts back and forth between that and them getting changed afterwards. And it becomes this like deep, meaningful scene, and like sex is deep and meaningful. It's very important to a lot of people in a lot of situations, but you can just pepper it in as like entertainment, like an action sequence or something. It has no real purpose.
You
And-
directors are horny, bro.
Oh,
yeah, horny.
there's a book by David Mamet. He's like one of the best playwrights and directors ever, and best acting teachers. And the book's called A Whore's Profession. So like a mentality of a actor needs to kind of be like you're like a bit of a hoe, because like you're going out there, you're putting yourself out there, you're putting everything out there, you're risking everything, you're doing all of this just for other people's pleasure. You get a little bit of money, but at the end of the day, you have to sacrifice a bit of your soul to make this shit. So that element like is a thing. And as a cameraman, we're filming these people, so of course there's a little bit of a perversion there, a little bit of a an obsession with like the most secret, most intimate things about people, like understanding that's like a big drive for like most directors and writers, and even actors, like they can be pretty obsessed with that kind of stuff. So yeah, it can be pervy or weird, but like, you know, I watched a lot of SBS up late. That's why I know a lot about film.
Big Brother adults only.
Nah, SBS up late. Big Brother adults only. Love Island. That is some softcore shit. You watch SBS Friday nights, midnight till 3. You're watching like the most weird French fucking weird Italian.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I remember like when the World Cup was on.
Yeah.
Like, I'd stay up late. Like I remember I was a kid and I'd stay up late for the World Cup, and then you're just watching like some crazy French movie with like intense.
First time you saw an unshaven woman.
Bro, you were giving some good like insight before from a director's point of view when you're watching films. What are some tips when it comes to directing? Like, what are some things that like helped you, you know, get into it, and like what are some aspects that you've seen that you can give out to maybe some up and coming directors that are maybe watching this?
Like, you know, I'd say the first step is watch a lot of film, shoot a lot of stuff. Doesn't matter what you shoot, because like I said before, it's like a tradey kind of role. Like a lot of the nitty gritty of like filmmaking, the craft of it. It's not an art, it's a craft. You know, like lighting, cinematography, camera technician, sound. These are almost more crafts than art forms. You need to know all of that because it's a part of a director's job to understand it, and at the same time, you need to also understand acting. You also need to understand writing. So you need to keep doing all this shit, and always like it's not even about believing yourself or any of that kind of shit. Like you should just fuck being a director for a second, like especially for younger people. Just like focus on like doing shit, you know, creative shit, productive shit. Like my dad always, as a kid, he'd always walk past my room and like open the door and just check that I was doing something that was productive. He didn't care if it was homework, drawing, painting like little miniatures. Like that's still useful to me today if I need to build a prop or something, you know, like all of these skills. And maybe you come out a director, maybe you come out something else, but following shit that you like and putting yourself fully into whatever you like to do, any specific little task or skill, that's going to actually get you somewhere. Because come like 25, 30-ish, whatever skills you have, you're going to be rolling down that road for the rest of it.
100%.
Yeah.
Hey, so because we have a director on the show, we're going to test your skills.
Yeah.
And we're going to make a short film. This is going to be our first time acting. Have you ever acted before, cuz?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, I did theatre studies.
Oh, yeah, bro. You're an actor. I've never done acting before. So we'll see how this goes. We'll get Shine in it too. Alfred's probably going to be the main character. We hope you guys enjoyed this interview of Talking Trophies. You know, we'd like to thank you, Kevin and Alfred, for jumping on the show.
Yeah, appreciate it.
If you guys are still watching, make sure you guys subscribe, like, share it around. You know, check out this short film. And yeah, check out some of our older videos. Besides that, stay humble, faith.
Cuz I'm telling you, It's only been 1 month, and my beard is 1,000 times better than yours.
Cuz all I'm saying is, cuz once this patch stuff goes away, cuz I don't know what you're talking about. Your beard is dead skis. Wallahi, you actually look like a nuff with your beard, bro. You actually have a dead beard. You look homeless. You actually look like a pricey, cuz. On some
I
real
do my
stuff.
thing with it, but look at yours, man.
This is natural, cuz. I don't even know what you're talking
But
about.
this is natural. What do you think this is fake, bro? Look at yours. It's patchy, bro. Like mine's clean, bro. I don't even know why you're acting like that. Like, right now, mine's better. Yours
Cuz
is
your
dead skis.
beard. Wallahi, your beard look homeless. Wallahi, you look like a pricey.
Cuz I walked down this alleyway and I thought you lived here.
You see this? You throw on the street. This is littering, right? This will end up in the ocean. You see, we're talking about global warming. You look at me with that eyes, and you cannot even say nothing to him. What's the civilization, you young youths of today? All you think about is about yourself. Then you giving me all this emotion. I'm going to take this to the correct recycle bin. I'll leave you with your conscience.
Global warming is a serious issue in the world right now, and we want to make our part. Like,
Come on, boys, you gotta be serious. Don't be selfish. Our younger generation gonna pay for our mess.
that's why at Talking Trophies, we are trying our best to end climate change
And we
do
value
our part. And we value the earth.
Oh yeah!
See, I'm trying to call me and all, but it's only one of me. If I came in this world alone, why I get lonely? Can someone come unthaw my heart? I think it's frozen.